What's going on, everybody? My name's Nate Freeman. I'm joined today by the number 3 ranked 54 kilo fighter in the US, Amy Duke. She is going to be competing on the Challenger Muay Thai series. Amy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I just wrapped up the morning session, so getting to deload and hang out for a bit before I head back for the afternoon.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. So jumping right in, we'll go ahead and talk about. I mentioned that you're the third ranked 54 kilo fighter in the US. So you went through the first ever World Games qualifier where they brought all of the fighters in from around the country to rank the fighters and qualify for the World Games. Talk to me about your experience with that. And they're going to, from what I've heard, do this in the future. So what makes you excited for that in the future as well?
So I was so excited to even be invited. I couldn't believe that I got to go compete with these women and to be considered one of them. It was such an incredible honor, and what a really cool experience. We've always needed something like that in the U.S. where we could have like all of the like top 10 fighters come and battle it out to try to get some ranking, because we've had like a lot of different sanctioning bodies trying to rank the fighters, and we need something like in the US that's like a standard for how we're ranking the fighters. So it was a really cool experience. I got a bye, and then I fought Coral Carniciella. I lost a decision, but it was a great fight, and I learned so much. So excited to do it again. If they do it next year and I'm invited again, I definitely will be back in there and try to get the number one this time.
Yes, you said you learned some things. Was it more like things in the fight itself, like learning some different techniques, or like learning how to pace yourself, or something like that? Or can you share a little bit more about what you learned?
Yeah, so it was obviously a unique experience being in Denver. So we were like in the Mile High City. So it was like a bit of a challenge with the altitude, but I ended up going out there early to get acclimated. So I was able to train with the folks at East End Training Center. Sean Madden was an incredible host, and he welcomed me and my fiance Joe, and we trained there with all of his fighters and got acclimated. The lessons that I learned were mostly in the ring. Sometimes you make mistakes, and then you learn from them and get better from it. So that was most of the learning experience for me.
Absolutely. So after that, you moved on, and between then and now, you have collected a WBC belt. Talk to me about how you felt after all of that, how the fight went. Obviously, you won, but how you felt going in and going out, and yeah, talk to me about what's been going on other than that in between the two.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I started training with Phil Nurse at the Watt into December of 2017. During the pandemic, he had to shut down the gym. So I had been training with him still. He does like outdoor classes, and then obviously we meet on the side, and he gives me some instruction. Sometimes Joe comes and we do it, the three of us. So I had been supplementing my training at one gym before the qualifier, and then after the qualifier, I felt like I needed to take a step back and reevaluate my training and what I needed as a fighter to keep advancing. And so I ended up switching to Satan Gym, which is in Astoria under Aziz. And I've trained there with Aziz and Joel instructing me. There's a lot of great training partners. They run a really awesome fight training session dedicated to the fighters. It was amazing to be able to go there and get like the individual attention and have like a lot of coaching and a lot of help, and obviously like fantastic teammates. And like the support system that you build is like what motivates you to do well. So between working with Phil and Joe and then working at Satan, I created like a really great balance. Because like the approaches to coaching are a little bit different. So like getting to see the different looks from either coach and like their approach to fighting was like extremely beneficial for me. So I started at Satan, got settled in there. Starting at a new gym, it's a little bit stressful. You don't you feel a little bit insecure while you're getting settled in and learning the culture and like kind of where you fit in the gym. So after I got settled in and I started feeling good about it, I got the message about the WBC fight. I felt like it was a perfect time for me. I had just come off a loss, and I had just made some major changes to my training. So I was like really excited to get in there and see like how how that had impacted me and my performance. So I fought on Warriors Cup for the WBC belt. It was the first ever women's amateur belt that they've ever put up. So it was like a really unique opportunity. I fought Susan Wallace. I cut her at the end of the first round with a spinning back elbow. And then because the cut was above the eye, in the second round, I had hit it a few more times and it opened back up and it was bleeding. So they had to stop the fight. So it obviously don't want to hurt my opponents, but we are fighting. So it is what it is. And I was really excited about it.
Is it a thing where I know some fighters, they don't necessarily try to avoid it, but they don't think about like attacking the cut. Was it a thing that you attacked in the fight? Like you saw the cut and it's like, I got to go after that and try to get a doctor stoppage?
So when I cut her, she was in the corner. So like in my corner, her back was in my corner. So my corner couldn't see that I cut her. And I was like telling them in the corner, like, I was like, I cut her, she's bleeding. And they were like, Amy, calm down. And so, they just gave me regular instruction. They didn't address the cut. They just told me to like what was working, what wasn't working, and like what I needed to, like what adjustments I needed to make. And then I remember I came out for the second round and I was thinking, oh, what do I do about this cut? And then I was like, oh, like if I'm patient, the moment for me to start hitting it again will come. So I started like going to the legs and body and kicking a bit more and being a bit more evasive. And then like once I was doing that, then I started going back up top to try to hit it some more to get it to open up. So I just tried to be like a bit patient and methodical about it.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so you won the belt and now you are moving on. Like I mentioned, you're fighting on the Challenger. And for those that don't know, I come from the world of MMA. For those that are like me and come from the world of MMA, it's much like the Ultimate Fighter, where they are stuck in a house for weeks on end and they just focus on fighting for weeks and weeks. So first of all, tell me how this opportunity came about for you.
So it was kind of vague at first. It was, I was asked for my photo from the qualifier and just, hey, well, I have a big opportunity for 54 kilogram females. And I was like, okay, whatever it is, I'm in. So then I found out that they wanted me to create like an audition video. So I did an audition video for them. And then after that, I had like another interview with the producer and Michael Corley, the president of the USMF. And then that went well also. So they decided to proceed with me. So I'm leaving for Malaysia on Saturday, October 1st. And I came out to Thailand to try to get as much training as I could and focus on fighting, focus on getting better. I'm currently at Phuket Fight Club. I'm training with the most high-level women I've ever been in a room with. It's been such an incredible experience. Like, it's just so much to learn. And like, part of me feels like I haven't had enough time. I still have so much to learn from them, but it's been just such an incredible experience. And I feel so ready for this. And I'm really, really excited about it. I can't wait to see what happens.
Now, obviously, Thailand is the mecca of Muay Thai. Is this your first time going to Thailand to train, or have you been there before? Or
So in 2016, Joe and I lived here. We lived in Chiang Mai. It was when I first started fighting, and I had my first 5 fights in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. So I've been here before. Familiar with the training style. That's why, and I'm not really sure how the training is going to be on the show. So I wanted to make sure that I was ready, like athletically, to perform twice a day at this higher volume that they do with the training. So you have 2 training sessions a day. And I wanted to make sure that I was fully acclimated to the time change and like acclimated to the training style.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so moving on to the show, give me your thoughts on being a part of the cast, how you feel you're going to do in the house and in training and all of that.
So I so I'm feeling obviously very excited about it. It's such a unique opportunity. Like I can't imagine why anybody would ever pass this up. Like this is insane. Like like there's been talk of calling it like Muay Thai Island. You know what I mean? Like this is
Mhm.
crazy stuff that you like never have the opportunity to do. So the fact that I get to do this is insane, and I just feel like I have nothing to lose. This is my pro debut. I'm just gonna go out there and give it everything I've got, see what happens. And obviously I want to win the whole thing, and I'm going to try to win the whole thing. But I'm also, like I'm here for the experience as well. I'm here to learn and see, like, just take everything that it has to offer. It's just such a cool experience.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this is your pro debut. Um, I guess my question is, how did you know that this was the time and the right opportunity to make your pro debut? Obviously, it is a big opportunity, but maybe why now and why not necessarily before or after or what?
um I just feel like so in my personal life as well as like training, just everything like kind of lined up, and it just the timing just felt right. Between it's obviously like a group decision between my coaches, and then me and Joe talk about it a lot. And you know at the qualifier, I was fighting against the best women in the US, and my last like 5 or 6 fights have been all top 5 women. And so it just feels like I'm already competing against the best of the best, so why not do it and get paid, you know?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You've mentioned moving on. You've mentioned Joe a few times. Your now fiance Joe Miller. You got married last week, or not married. You got you got engaged last week to him.
Yeah,
And you've been dating for over 7 years at this point, correct? So,
yeah.
was it a thing where you saw it coming, or was it a thing where like you have been very eager and like waiting on it to happen, or did it surprise you, or what?
I mean, I knew it was coming. We've been together for a really long time, and we know each other really well. It was just kind of I didn't know when, and I didn't know if he would do it on this trip, or do you know what I mean? Joe, unfortunately, is not good at keeping secrets or being like stealthy at all. So he's been building me a website. He's a web developer, and he was trying to show it to me, and while he was showing me the website, he had a tab open for a Phuket photographer.
Oh
And I'm just
man.
like, Joe, why do you need a photographer? So I was like, oh, okay, it's coming, but he ended up doing it earlier than he had planned, just because the moment was right, and we were just, he's my best friend. He's my favorite person to be around, as well as my favorite training partner. So we were sitting outside having a conversation, and then the timing came, and then he proposed, and it was really wonderful, and I'm really happy. And so unfortunately, we've been very distracted by training and getting ready for the challengers. So we're excited after the challenger to celebrate the win and being in the finale, and then also celebrate our engagement.
Absolutely. I'm curious because every time I see somebody get engaged, when in the middle of the proposal, I every single girl that I've seen has always put their hands up to their mouth like this. I don't know how that's a thing. Like literally every single girl. Did you do that at all, or were you like?
I don't know. We were both crying, and like I had snot all over my face and stuff. So like if the photographer was there, it wouldn't have been cute. But I don't know if I put my hands on my face. I wasn't paying attention.
It's the weirdest thing that
Distracted by the snot.
Have you noticed that too? Like, have you noticed that in engagement pictures, or is that just
Yeah,
something?
but I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know if it's like posing or legitimate, or I mean, maybe like people feel insecure about the face they're making, so they cover it.
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, that may be it. Okay, so um, well, I don't know if I said this earlier, but congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
yeah. So before I let you go, though, I do want to make sure you wrote down all of your sponsors, so you have those. So be sure to give them a shout out. And how can people follow you on social media? The floor is yours.
My Instagram is my name, so it's Amy Dash Duke. So you can follow me on Instagram. And my sponsors, I just want to shout out to In Fight Style. They've been incredible. We've been working together for a few years, and they've been so supportive and just like really awesome. They help link me up with the training at Fight Club. And then Andrew, the owner, has been out here and taken us out to dinner and just been really great. Obviously, the Watt, Phil Nurse, Satan, Aziz, and Joel, they've been incredible. My strength and conditioning coach, Atlas Precision, Hudson Valley CBD has also been incredible because training at this volume causes a lot of aches and pains. So I've been able to use their products and help me a lot. And then I also just want to shout out to Fabian Garcia. He's a physical therapist that's in New York, and I have 5 million questions all the time, and he takes the time to answer all of them. So he's been absolutely incredible.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Amy. This has been Amy Duke. She's competing on the Challenger at a she's competing in a couple of weeks, but it's set to air at a time to be determined on a platform to be determined. So just be sure to follow along as we get updates, and yeah, we'll keep in touch. And Amy, best of luck, and yeah, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.